Section 128 of 15,000 Useful Phrases by Grenville Kleiser. Read for LibriVox.org by Ken Crooker. On the web at kencrooker.com. Tell me in what way you want me to help you. Thank you for telling me that. Thank you for your good intentions. That, at least, you will agree to. That depends on one's point of view. That doesn't sound very logical. That is a counsel of perfection. That is a fair question, perhaps. That is a question I have often proposed to myself. That is a stroke of good fortune. That is a superb piece of work. That is a very practical explanation. That is admirably clear. That is certainly ideal. That is eminently proper. That is hardly consistent. That is inconceivable. That is just like you, if you will forgive me for saying so. That is most fortunate. That is most kind of you. That is most unexpected and distressing. That is not fair, to me. That is not to be lightly spoken of. That is precisely what I mean. That is quite true, theoretically. That is rather a difficult question to answer. That is rather a strange request to make. That is rather awkward. That is really good of you. That is the prevailing idea. That is tragic. That is true, and I think you are right. That is very amiable in you. That is very curious. That is very felicitous. That is very gracious. That is what I call intelligent criticism. That is what I meant to tell you. That is a humiliating thought. That is a most interesting idea. That is such a hideous idea. That is the most incredible part of it. That might involve you in lifelong self-reproach. That must be exceedingly tiresome. That ought to make you a little lenient. That reassures me. That shows the infirmity of his judgment. That theory isn't tenable. That was exceedingly generous. That was intended ironically. That was very thoughtful of you. That was very well reasoned. That will blast your chances, I am afraid. That will suit me excellently. That would be somewhat serious. That would be very discreditable. The agreement seems to be ideal. The idea is monstrous. The inference is obvious. The notion is rather new to me. The pleasure is certainly not all on your side. The reason is not so far to seek. The same problem has perplexed me. The sentiment is worthy of you. The simplest thing in the world. The situation is uncommonly delicate. The story seems to me incredible. The subject is extremely interesting. The tone of it was certainly hostile. The very obvious moral is this. The whole thing is an idle fancy. Then I have your permission? Then you're really not disinclined? Then you merely want to ask my advice? There are endless difficulties. There are reasons which make such a course impossible. There's a good deal of sense in that. There is a grain of truth in that, I admit. There is food for reflection in that. There is my hand on it. There is no resisting you. There is nothing I should like so much. There is one inevitable condition. There is something almost terrifying about it. There must be extenuating circumstances. They amuse me immensely. This is a most unexpected pleasure. This is charmingly new to me. This is indeed good fortune. This is really appalling. This is really not a laughing matter. Those are my own private feelings. Those things are not forgotten at once. To me, it's simply outrageous. To speak frankly, I do not like it. True, I forgot. End of section 128. This recording is in the public domain. Recorded in May of 2007 in the beautiful Shenandoah Valley.